Hey, I'm ChristopherJMUA and welcome back to my channel. Unless you've never been here, of course, then welcome. I'm so glad you've stopped by. Because this is your one-stop shop for reviews on holiday makeup kits. This is the Color Workshop Doll Up Ready Makeup Collection. And I got this kit from Big Lots for $20. Only $20. And this has like everything you need for almost a full face of makeup. You guys seem to really like these videos based on the one that I uploaded last year, which I will link right up here, and the one that I uploaded the year before that, which I will also link right up here. Those were a lot of fun, and I have to be at work in a couple of hours, so we are going to unbox this one, try this one on, and see what the results are for these products, since I'm gonna be wearing it to work. So I'm putting a lot of faith in this holiday makeup kit right here. So if you wanna see if I can manage to get a full face of good looking makeup out of the Color Workshop Doll Up Ready Makeup Collection, then stay exactly where you are, keep doing exactly what you're doing, and keep on watching. Okay guys, first things first, I want to show you what the kit looks like just at first glance, and try not to get all the lights reflecting. First, we have 3 eyeliners over here. One looks black, one looks blue, and one looks brown. Then we have a setting spray, a primer, a mascara, also an eyeshadow palette. Looks like 5 brushes, a brow brush, fan brush, a flat brush, a powder brush, and maybe a concealer brush here possibly. We also have 5 nail polishes. Looks like black, purple, red, mauve, and silver, I guess. Then we also have a blush, contour, and illuminate palette. So blush, contour, and highlight, bronzing. We also have gloss and lipsticks. So really with this set, we have just about everything except foundation. I think that's everything that you would need for a full face of makeup. And this was only 20 bucks. $20 for this whole kit. Now we've had some hits and we've had some misses in the past. We never really know until we get into it, so let's go ahead and get into it. You know, I love these little kits because you can also get them from Walmart, you can get them from just a lot of retailers. I think Five Below has kits like this. You can even get some that are in little caboodle type things so that you can carry it around wherever you go and it's contained in one product or one carrying case. I just think it's a really awesome way to get a bunch of products all at once, especially if you're new to makeup. It's really great to just practice and try with an affordable option before you start investing in really prestige products. I think it's a really great way to kind of dip your toes into the makeup world without committing yourself too much. Ooh, yes, that is gonna be some fantastic product shot paper. Haha! 2 for 1. Now it says this is a 54-piece set. That's a lot of products for 20 bucks. That means that each product in this kit averages out to 37 cents. That means this eyeshadow palette is technically 37 cents. That's a very affordable eyeshadow palette. Speaking of the eyeshadow palette, this is what it looks like. There we go. It has some neutrals in it, some grays, some slightly cool ashy tones, and a few pops of pink down in the bottom right. A lot of the shades in the top resemble each other quite a bit. It's not quite translating on camera as to what it actually looks like in the mirror. There's a lot more differing shades in the top row. It looks in the camera like they're all white with some purple and a tan. But I assure you, there's actually some variation between them. I'm not gonna swatch every shade in this eyeshadow palette. I am going to swatch a few though, just so we can see what they look like. Let's do maybe this lavender shade with a little bit of the shimmer in it. Let's do this shimmery champagne type shade. Let's do the bronzy gold and the rose gold. Oh, okay. Okay, not too shabby. I like that. That's good so far. And you know, the only real problem I ever really have out of affordable palettes, like very, very affordable palettes, is sometimes the shades blend in so much together, or they're so close in tone together, that they kind of just turn muddy and they turn into all the same color. But I think maybe this one's gonna be good for us. I think it's gonna work. Then we have this blush, bronzer, and illuminate palette. It also looks pretty nice. I like the tones that it has in it. This does look like a really nice bronzer shade. It looks like it has a little bit of shimmer in it, but that's not too big of a deal. I can deal with a little bit of shimmer. See what it looks like. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a good bronzer shade. Oh yeah, that'll be good. I like that. And we have quite a few blushes in here, actually. Little peachy blush. That's cute. Then a couple of highlighters. Champagne type highlighter. Ooh. You can't really see that on camera, but that's nice. It has a nice sheen to it. Then almost a white. Ooh, yeah. Actually a very much so white. Yeah, can't really see it on camera. It's pretty though. The white one is more of a glittery highlight rather than a sheen. I'll probably end up using the more champagne-y tone. I want to try to avoid as much glitter as I can since I'm going to be going to work. I just don't want glitter all over everything I touch. Because you know how it is. Glitter is like the common cold in the craft world. If you've got it, everyone else is going to get it. Now let's check out the 5 brushes. So the spoolie. I mean, a spoolie is a spoolie. You know, it's kind of just a spoolie. Oh, that feels like a spoolie. Then a fluffy blush brush. Oh, powder is what it says it is. That feels pretty soft. It feels nice. And a fan brush. Highlight is what they say it's for. Yeah, that's really nice. Then eyeshadow brush, of course. This would be more like for the lid eyeshadow. And then concealer brush. I think it's funny they give you a concealer brush but no concealer. What are you supposed to do with this? It's cool they have it in there though. It's a nice touch. I personally think I would have preferred maybe a blending eyeshadow brush in the kit rather than the concealer brush, but that's just me. That's just what I would prefer. Then we have a matte setting spray. Cute little travel size. Love that. Not the greatest smelling setting spray in the whole wide world, but you know, it's 37 cents. As long as it sets the makeup, that's okay. Then a matte primer as well. A mascara in black with cute little stars all over it. I love how everything has little stars all over it. It's definitely themed out to the doll up makeup collection. You know, get ready, doll up. Then we also have these 3 eyeliners. This one is in a bronzy shade, it looks like. Then a black, then a blue. Let's see how they swatch. Bronze. Oh, that is just brown. Okay, no bronze, no shimmer or anything. That is just brown, which might be what we use today, potentially. Since I'm going to work, I might go for more of a neutral, you guys know me, but neutral look, and we'll see if we can pull that off. Who knows? Maybe I'll do black, I don't know. Then we have the blue eyeliner. Oh wow, that is very blue. I did not expect that. I expected it to be more like a cloudy blue, like a light blue that kind of built up to be more intense rather than very navy at the very beginning. Ooh, I have high hopes for this black one. Let's swatch it too. Oh yeah, okay. That's beautiful. I really like these liners. These are really nice kohl. Okay, we are off on a very good start so far. So far, everything has been at least swatching nicely. Then we have these 5 nail polishes. It is a light purple tone, a deep purple tone, looks almost black, but not quite. A red, berry red, a coral pinky red, more like just coral pink. And then a very beautiful silver. I love this. This is really, really pretty to me. This is what I would go for first. But my nails currently have a repairing base coat because I've used acrylics for too long and they're repairing. And it also has a top coat of the Hollow Taco from Simply Nailogical, Christine. If you don't know who she is, I will link her down below. But she came out with some holographic top coats of her own, and I'm using the linear Hollow Taco. And I really don't want to cover it up because I really like how pretty it is. So I'm just gonna set the polishes to the side for now, but I do think I'm gonna give that silver one a shot later because I really like that color. We also have these 2 lip glosses. One is a pink tone, one is well, I guess one is more of a coral pink tone. The other is more of a red pink, almost, I would call it. You can see those colors there. And then our 51st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th items are the lipsticks. We have a pink, definitely a pink, a red, very pretty blue-based red, a purple, very cool, beautiful purple. This is my kind of purple. And then, ooh, a very vampy deep red. I like this a lot. This is really, really pretty. And that is all 54 items. So we are going to start with eyeshadow. I'm gonna go ahead and prime my eyes with my P. Louise eyeshadow base. You can use any base that you'd like. This is just the one that I personally find the most promising. I feel like this really gives my shadows a boost, and I want to boost these shadows, you know? So why not? And for now, I'm not going in with any of their brushes yet. I'm actually going to use a sponge for the eyeshadow base. I just prefer doing that. It gives me a really even base and a smooth base. Plus, it soaks up any excess product that I might have put on my eyelid, which typically, 9 times out of 10, I do put extra product on my lid. Okay, my eye is completely primed, and I'm gonna get you guys zoomed in a little bit just so you can kind of see the work I'm doing on my eye and see how the shadows perform as well. I feel like it's important to just be able to see the details, you know? Okay, we are way too close for comfort, so that means it's probably good enough. Now I know that I don't have a fluffy brush in the brushes that came in the kit, so I'm gonna use my own Morphe fluffy brush. If you are following along with this, you can really use any fluffy brush you want, any fluffy brush that is big enough to just go all over your eye quickly. I'm gonna use this one right here. It's a dense, big fluffy brush. I think I'm first gonna go into this more, I guess, violet toned pink. It seems to be a matte. That's one thing that is kind of hard to tell with this palette. It's hard to tell the difference between what is a shimmer shade and what is a matte shade. And with this shade, I'm just gonna start building it up in the crease, essentially setting my base, but I'm also gonna use it as a transition shade. And currently, I'm not tapping off any excess from the brush. I just wanna pack all of that color on, then I'll worry about blending it out later. You know, this is actually a really pretty color. It's very subtle on my skin tone. It's a really good transition color, really good crease buildup color, really good base tone even. And this is definitely a satin. There is a sheen completely covering my eye where I've put that color. That's okay, that's fine. Just to know that that was not a matte. I thought it was. I just thought that would be really nice and neutral and cool toned. So it would be a good start, then I could build from there. Speaking of building from there, I'm going in with another fluffy blending brush. This one isn't quite as dense and it's a little longer. And now I'm gonna go into this pink color all on the edge here. Now I know I said I was gonna keep it neutral, and I still am. This pink should, by the time I'm done, blend in with the rest of the colors and be more of a soft neutrally pink instead of this like melon baby pink that it is right now. I don't really know what color that is, honestly. It's pink. And with this shade, I'm just going to build it up in the crease as well, but I'm gonna keep it a little lower than the previous shade just so it only stays in the crease. Well, that's what I'm gonna try and do. And this one seems to be a true matte. It doesn't have any shimmer at all. Those colors go together so nicely. That is a really pretty blend. I'm just gonna use my windshield wiper motions just to make sure that the color gets dispersed evenly across my crease. Back and forth and back and forth. And something to note that might help you guys with your blending is whenever you pick up a color on a brush, where you go in the first time matters. If I take this brush right now and go into the inner corner and just pat color right there immediately, I'm gonna have a big blob of color that I'm not gonna be able to blend out because this brush is bigger than my eye. If I take it on the outer edge and pat it there first, then that's a bigger area of skin that I'm putting right there, so I'll have a chance to actually blend this out further. So try to pay attention where you go in with your brush the first time because it does matter and it helps. Now that the pink is blended out, I'm gonna go in with this other fluffy angled brush. This one is dense like the first brush that I used, but it's very, very angled. It's very tapered at the end, so it has this kind of point to it. And with this brush, I'm gonna go into this shade up here in the top left corner. It looks like a white on the monitor, but it's actually more of like a slightly pink toned tan, if you will. Maybe a little bit of a peachy tone. But I'm gonna use that to blend out the first color that I used up here on my crease. So that way I can get a nice even blend up to my brow bone and it's not pink all the way up to the brow bone. A lot of people will take the pink all the way up to the brow bone. I would even take the pink all the way up to the brow bone. I'm just trying to use as many colors as possible just to see what I think about the palette. So for this case and for this look, I am gonna take this shade to the brow bone instead. Then I'm just gonna use this shade up here in the brow bone and essentially use it like a buffer. And I'm gonna buff it into that pink shade that I had at the beginning and just keep blending those in circular motions over and over and over until that pink edge is no longer visible. I don't want it to be an edge, I want it to be a nice soft blend all the way up. And when it comes to this part of the blending, never be afraid to go back in with your original brush that you used and pick up the same color you used and build it back up where you need to, because as you blend, you do lose some color and some pigmentation, so it doesn't hurt anything to try and bring that color back. In fact, you want to do that. Okay, I think I'm pretty happy with that blend. So now what I want to do is go in with this much, much deeper shade right here. I know it's very, very dark. Don't be scared though. Don't be scared, because we're going to use it very sparingly. I'm going to use this teeny tiny blending brush, and when I say teeny tiny, it's very teeny tiny. The brush I started with, this brush. See? It is very, very teeny tiny. And I'm gonna start using the shade right in the outer corner. Oh yeah, that's a lot deeper. That's exactly what I wanted. This is really gonna give me the dimension that I'm looking for to make it look like I have bigger eyes. And not everyone would want to add this darker shade in. You could have even stopped right where I was before this, used your finger and pat on a shimmer on your lid, and you could have been done. That would have been the whole look already. I just really like always adding in a darker shade on the outer edge and in my crease after I build up the color that I like, because I want it to look like I have really big, awesome eyes. I want it to look different, you know? That's the power of makeup, to change my face shape. And that's what I like to do. Why not, you know? It's not like I can't just wash it off when I'm done. Now I'm also taking this up just a little bit so that whenever I open my eyes and look straight ahead, you can still see a little bit of that dark color right above my eyelid. So I'm really taking it just to right here. And if it's not deep enough, tap just a little bit more into the pan and go right back in. And just keep building and building and building. Because can we fix it? Yes, we can. Okay, we definitely have a much deeper look now. I am quite satisfied with this, but I want to add a little bit more color. So I'm gonna go back in with the same brush that I used for the pink shade and go back in with the pink shade. Then go right around the edges of that dark shade that I just finished using and just blend those out, just to make sure that I add a little bit of color back in, and so those edges are nice and smooth. You don't ever want to have any rough edges. Unless you're trying to have rough edges, then you do want rough edges. And this is the part for me that I could spend probably the next 2 hours on, just going in with one shade, adding it, building it up, going in with another shade, adding it, building it up, just going back and forth until I get that perfect blend. But I could really stop whenever, because it's still gonna look fine, just maybe not best, you know? Then the last thing I'm gonna do with this deeper shade is just pull it outward a slight bit, just to give my eye that elongated effect. I also just decided that I want to take the smaller brush that I used for the darker shade, and I actually want to take this darker shade into my inner corner as well. So I'm going to take this color right here and just really build that up right here. I'm going to go for more of a halo eye. I think that will make my eyes look the biggest, and I don't know, today I just want to have big looking eyes. That's just the vibe I'm going for today. Then doing the same thing on the outer corner just to re-intensify that darker shade, make sure that it's as intense as it can be. Okay, so that's built up, and I think that looks actually really pretty. I think it's a nice build for it. So now what I'm gonna do is take just a little bit of my P. Louise base, or whatever base you use. You can use anything that you have, any kind of cream that you have. And I'm gonna take just a little bit of this and take it on my ring finger, which is the finger that you use the least pressure with whenever you're applying anything to your eyes. And I'm just gonna pat this right on the center of my eye, right at that highest point. We are gonna go for the spotlight eye today. In case you didn't know, it's called that because that is a spotlight. It looks just like a spotlight. Now that that base is applied and it's perfectly tacky, or it should be at this point, I'm gonna use the eyeshadow brush that came in the kit, so it's the little flat brush. And for today, I'm gonna go into this shade right here. That is the most intense, beautiful, white, brown shimmer shade in this palette. I think it is so beautiful. And I'm gonna take that on this brush and go ahead and apply that right to the center spotlight of my eye. I'm gonna start by trying to pat it on, just to try and build up the pigment that's on there. Oh wow, that is so pretty. Wow. I really like that. And you know, you could even use this shade with your finger. That's probably what I would have done if I wouldn't have had this brush, but I had the brush. I needed to use it for something. That is such a pretty shade. And it's building up really nicely, especially on a dry brush. You know what? Just to see what it looks like, I'm gonna go ahead and spray this brush with the matte setting spray that comes in the kit. And we're gonna see what happens if we have a wet brush. Okay, so now my brush is wet, and let's see what happens. Oh wow, that is so much more foiled. Oh, that is beautiful, wow. Okay, that's really pretty. Now, I personally like to take my spotlight shimmer up into my crease just a little bit, so that whenever I have hooded lids, so whenever my eyes open all the way, my eyelid touches inside my crease. So if I don't do this, what will happen is all the matte shadow in my crease will transfer down to my lid. I would rather my lid transfer up to my crease, so if I just make it all shimmery, it won't be able to. I'm kind of just beating my eyelids at their own game. There we go. Now when I close my eyes, it looks like a big triangle of shimmer, as you can see. But when I open them, just looks like a regular spotlight eye. And as this wears throughout the day, for me what will happen is the triangle will slowly turn into just a circle. Okay, spotlight eye is made. So now I'm gonna go back in with the little tiny blending brush, back into the deepest shade in the palette, and I'm just going to re-intensify these outer edges and make sure the blend between the spotlight shade and the darker shade is smooth and that there's no harsh edges. I'm actually really excited about this look. Now the last thing I want to do on the top of the eye is take the big fluffy tapered brush again. This is the same one that I used for the brow bone earlier. I'm still going to use this for the brow bone, but I'm going to use only the flat tapered side. I'm not going to use the fluffy blending side. And I'm going to go into that same shade that we used, just this white tan shade. And like I said, just use the flat side of the brush. And this time I'm going to use the shade as a brow bone highlight. I noticed when I was using it earlier to blend out everything else that it had a shimmer to it, and I didn't realize it had a shimmer to it, but now I do. So I'm going to use that to my advantage and just add the shimmer to the brow bone. There we go. Man, that is beautiful. So now let me clean up all my messiness around the eye and under the eye and see what we're left with. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this on the other eye, and once I do, I'll be right back. My eyes are now matchy-matchy on both sides, or at least for the most part. They're acceptably symmetrical. And now, before I jump into my complexion products, my foundation and concealer essentially, we need to go in with the Color Workshop Face Primer in Matte. Now since this is mattifying, I personally need to go in with a little bit of a hydrating moisturizer beforehand to make sure that the matte doesn't dry me out. I still want to have that matte finish, but I don't want to be dry and cakey looking. I'm going to start by spraying my Too Faced Replenishing Primer and Setting Spray. This is a godsend when it comes to hydration in my face. I also already used a little bit of my Physicians Formula Argan Wear Argan Oil. It's a really great beauty oil, and I think it really works well on my skin specifically. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in with the spray. Wanted to make sure that I really soaked my cheeks and my forehead, because that's what gets the most creasy and the most dry looking. And I want to make sure that I don't open my eyes while my eyes are still wet with setting spray, because that's what makes your eyeshadow crease before you even know it. Okay, we're dry. So now I'm gonna go in with the matte face primer. Curious to see what this feels like. It looks like lotion. Feels just like a lotion or a cream. Oh, you see that like dewy looking shine that I have to my skin? That's what I need before I go in with something like this. Primer is applied, and I can definitely say it took away what shine I had. I no longer have that glow that I had before I went in with that primer. It was definitely mattifying. It does its job, that's no doubt. But no matter how matte I am, I'll always be your Chris. Get it? Because Matt is a boy's name? Yeah, it's funny. Anyway, I have 20 minutes left before I have to go to work, so I'm gonna go ahead and very quickly put on my foundation and concealer and my setting powder off camera, and I'll be right back. Just finished setting my face, if you can't tell, because I look like a ghost at this moment, because it was with translucent powder, and that translucent powder has not been sprayed, so it left me with a little bit of a white cast. And I've gotta say that I chose probably one of the worst days to film this video, because I literally have 15 minutes before I have to be at work. Like, not including drive time, like I have to be there in 15 minutes. So we're gonna roll through this blush, bronzer, and Illuminate palette and these lipsticks really fast. And hopefully it all works out. First, I need to spray my Casper face with the matte setting spray, and we're gonna see how well this works. I actually used my Fenty Pro Filter Hydrating Foundation so that my face wouldn't dry out, and I also used my Colourpop Hydrating Concealer so that my under eyes wouldn't dry out. So hopefully those will keep me hydrated while I mattify the rest of my face. Oh my gosh, I'm out of setting spray. Wow. Well, that was not an amazing thing. So keep in mind, this bottle, this little bitty bottle, does not last long at all. At all. This is literally gone. Well, there's still a little bit left, but it's almost literally gone. And that definitely did not finish setting my face, so I'm actually gonna go in with my NYX Slay the Season Matte Finish Setting Spray. I figure it's a matte finish, it'll kind of match that one, so I'll stick with that. My face is now set, and I definitely need to go in and bronze it up now. So I'm gonna use my Pacaya Beauty Big Fluffy Blending Brush. This is actually a blush brush, but it's very dense and big, so I prefer it as a bronzer brush, and I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. This is, to me, the perfect bronzer shade for me. Oh, I've gotta hurry, I keep forgetting. Okay, we have a little bit of pigment on the brush. I'm not gonna go too crazy just yet. I wanna see how this builds. That's a little orange, just a little bit. That's crazy. It doesn't look orange at all in the pan. Is that just me? Am I crazy? There we go. Wow, that's warming up the face very nicely. I actually really like that tone. Now, in my opinion, that definitely looks more like a bronzer than it does a contour, which is why I went into it even thinking it was a bronzer in the first place. Just doesn't seem quite dark enough to make it a contour shade, but it is a very pretty tone. It is very, very nice. I actually really like that. Got all of my face bronzed, so now I'm just gonna go in with this tapered, very, very fluffy brush and just bronze the edges of my nose to kind of give me a little bit of a contour, but without going too heavy. Now I feel about as bronzed as I need to be, so I'm gonna go in with my fluffy blush brush and maybe go in with this peachy tone blush right here. And actually, I think I'm also gonna mix it with a little bit of the deeper shade here. I think that'll be a pretty neutrally type blush on me. Maybe, we'll see. Blush is now applied. Now it is time for one of my favorite parts, highlighter. Oh no, I forgot to use the brush that came in here. Actually, I'm gonna use this brush to try and deepen up this bronzer on the side in just a minute. First, I'm gonna go in with the highlight brush though. Now, how are you supposed to get this brush in these tiny little pans? I'm gonna try to go into the little champagne shade. I'm gonna try and squish the brush in there and just kind of wiggle it around. Oh wow, that is really powdery. Oh my gosh. Come on, highlight, don't fail me. She's cute. She's subtle, but she's cute. She's there. Oh, wow. Okay, that was a lot more intense from the side. Okay, that's pretty. Man, my camera is not doing me any favors right now. I look super white on camera right now, and I'm not. You know what? Since we're not doing the eyes anymore right now, I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you guys back out just a little bit so that maybe my camera will fix itself and maybe not make me look so white anymore. There, is that any better? That highlight's popping. I still look so white though. I promise that I'm not as white in real life as I am on camera right now. I don't know why it's so intense. That's okay though, the show must go on. So gonna go in with that highlighter again on the other side. That is just so beautiful. I really, really like that highlighter. Now, like I said before, I'm gonna go in with the little powder brush and go into that bronzer shade once again and just use this sharper brush, essentially, like tighter brush, and really concentrate the color right in the contour of my cheek. This way I can really use it like a contour instead of just a bronzer and maybe get a little more definition out of it. Oh yeah, there we go. I should have used this brush for the bronzer from the beginning. Yeah, I like that. Cheeks? What cheeks? All I have is jaw. I'm also gonna do the same thing right up here, just cause I can. And who doesn't want a smaller forehead? People with small foreheads. Makes sense. Alright, it's official. I actually really enjoy this palette. I like this face palette. This is a nice palette. I don't think it would be a very good option for really deep skin, maybe for the blushes and the highlight, but not for a contour or a bronzer shade. If you had deep skin, I don't think you'd really be able to use either of the dark shades, honestly. But I feel like the color went on well, it blended well, it doesn't look super patchy or anything. I could do with a little more blend work up here. Now we are gonna go back into the eyeshadow palette. I'm gonna take this tiny little detail crease brush and I'm gonna go into this deeper pink shade. It is the most pink shade in the palette right here. And I'm gonna take that and start blending it out on my lower lash line. It's funny, this pink actually goes on the same color as my waterline. So it looks like my waterline is just extra large. Now with the same fluffy brush that I was using for the bronzer, the really tall, skinny, tapered fluffy brush, I'm gonna go back into the deep shade that I was using before, the one that I used to deepen up the outer edges, and I'm gonna use this just on the outer edge of my lower lash line and start to pull it inward. So it's not gonna be dark all the way into the inner corner and the center, it's just gonna be dark right on the outside, just so I can make the shade mix in with the crease. So now that's blended out, and I'm gonna go in with the same brush that I used to add the highlight to the bridge of my nose, and I'm gonna go in with the same shimmer shade that I used on my lid with this brush, and I'm just going to lightly apply that right in my inner corner on the lower lash line only. Well, honestly, that didn't do too much of anything, but that's okay, because I like it how it is anyway. So the next thing I like to do is go in with the black pencil on my waterline. Now this is a kohl pencil. I don't usually work with kohl pencils on my waterline, but we're gonna give it a shot and see how it works. That's pretty good. It's not super intense black, but it's not gray. It is a little bit harder than a gel pencil, so it's not the most comfortable on the waterline, but it's survivable, it's fine. That actually went on really, really smooth, and it applied very even. That is one thing that I prefer about kohl pencils over gel pencils, is that they are really, really even. They don't gum up and ball up as much as a gel does. So now we need to put on the mascara. I'm gonna go ahead and curl my lashes off camera so that we can apply the mascara, so I'll be right back. Lashes are curled. Now time to apply the mascara. I really hope this is at least decent mascara, because I'm gonna have to wear this for the rest of the night. I'm just hoping, you know? Well, I don't really see anything special about it per se, but my lashes look nice. I mean, they're coated in mascara. I actually kind of like this mascara. I'm not gonna jump to conclusions yet because I've gotta see how it wears and if it flakes and just breaks apart everywhere. This is the first time in a while that I've found a mascara that's held the curl in my lashes. My lashes don't hold curl. We'll have to see how it looks later. I'm gonna leave it on and see. However, so far, slightly impressed. Now I'm gonna do the same thing to the lower lashes. Okay, kind of making a mess on the lower lash line a little bit. I need to be more careful. I'm getting mascara everywhere. So lashes are done and they look good, or at least so far so good. So now let's finish this up with the lips. There is no real nude in here, and I would much rather have a nude. So I guess I'm gonna go for the more browny type shade. This is at least the closest to brown that's in here. It's more of like a brown berry, but I'm gonna use this one. Oh, that's not a bad shade. Maybe a little red, but that's okay. Now it does taste like a chlorinated pool. If you're not a fan of chlorinated pools, then maybe dodge the lipstick. It also smells like a chlorinated pool, so if you're not a fan of that, look out. Okay, and there's the lipstick. I actually really like that lipstick. That's a really pretty shade. Now I'm gonna go in with the gloss. This one, I'm gonna use probably more of the berry tone rather than the corally tone. I think this is just gonna go better with this lipstick. Let's see, I think it's gonna kind of tone down the intensity of the lipstick and make it closer to a nude. I'm hoping anyway. Who knows, am I not? And I just put some of the gloss on my finger and now gonna pat it onto my lips. Okay, yeah, that's cute. I like that. The gloss is extra sheer, so it really didn't change the lip color too much. I feel like the gloss is more of a standalone product than it is an add-on to the lipstick product. So what I'm gonna do, since none of the lipsticks, in my opinion, really go with the look, I'm gonna take the lipstick off and just wear the gloss to work. That way I can feel a little more matchy-matchy. Lipstick is off. Now gloss only. And this is that same berry pink type tone. Oh yeah, this is cute. I like this. I like this a lot. Okay, and that's it. This is the entire look using the Color Workshop Doll Up Ready Makeup Collection. Now before I go over all of the products and what I thought about them, I'm gonna go ahead and go to work, and once I come back, I'll be able to tell you, I'll be able to give my full review on everything. So I will see you in just one more second. I am now back from my long evening at work. For you, it's been like a millisecond. For me, it's been like 5 hours. So now that it is now midnight 30-ish, let's talk about this Color Workshop makeup collection. So the eyeliner really doesn't last very much. And I gotta say, something was going on with either the eyeliner or the mascara that was making my eyes water a lot. I don't know what it was. Perhaps it was the ingredients that some of these are made out of. Maybe it was because the kohl pencil was really sharp whenever I went in to use it. I don't know what it was, but whatever it was, it made my eyes water a lot, and my concealer and my eyeshadow started breaking down in the corners of my eyes where my eye was watering. I tried to just kind of lightly dab off any liquid that was there, but it wasn't very effective because obviously my makeup got patchy, because powders don't tend to do the greatest when they're wet. But all in all, aside from that, I didn't really have any problems with anything. Even though I didn't use all of them, I quite enjoyed the two brushes that I did use from the set, the fan brush and the powder brush. They were soft, they were fluffy, they blended well. They were nothing amazing, but you know, they were nice brushes, they worked well, and I liked them. This face palette is a dream. I really like this face palette. The blush is great, the bronzer is great, and the highlighter is actually really nice. The only downside is I don't think anyone with really deep skin would be able to use this, at least for contouring and deepening of the skin, maybe for the blush, maybe for the highlighter, but definitely not for deepening of the skin. The eyeliner pencils were so pigmented, very pigmented. I wish they would last a lot better in the waterline. Based on the fact that this is this pigmented, this would be great across the lash line, blended out for like a wing or like a soft smoky eye, something like that. Plus, having the blue and the brown can really help benefit in looks like that. So I really like these. I'm really excited about these. I will use these more in the future, probably more for on the lid rather than the lash line, but I like their pigmentation. They're pretty good. The matte face primer was definitely mattifying. It took the shine right off my face. I literally had no luminosity left at all. The setting spray, there's not enough in this thing. This is like one application, maybe two applications, if you're lucky. Granted, I use setting spray pretty robustly, so maybe not everybody's gonna be in the same boat as I am, but this isn't enough setting spray. I don't really wanna give any kind of judgment too much because I wasn't really able to use a lot of it, so I don't really know how it performed or if it locked anything in or if it made it mattifying because everything was kind of mattified already. The mascara, unless it was the thing that was causing my eyes to water, I am quite a fan of this mascara. It held the curl in my lashes up to this point still. That doesn't ever happen with mascara. My lashes go from curled to straight within about an hour with every other mascara I use. So this is awesome. I'm quite happy with this. I'm gonna have to try it again without the liners and see if maybe it was just the liner that was making my eye water, because I would like to try this again because I would like to like this. So it'd be cool to see it by itself and see if it was that did it. The lipstick I used, and I'm assuming the formula is the same for the rest of them, it is so creamy. The only thing I would suggest is maybe having a brush that you could run through the lipstick to help line your lips a little bit, because it's kind of hard to build up a nice clean lip line with it. That's the only downside, I guess, but it did apply pigment very well, and it was very opaque. Oh, but it smells like plastic or like a chlorinated pool. It smells like a chlorinated pool. If you get this and you smell this, let me know if you smell a chlorinated pool, because that's what I smell. The gloss I actually ended up taking to work with me so I could touch up over and over again. The gloss is really nothing special. It takes a lot to build it up to even get any kind of shine on your lips, and that's kind of disappointing. I mean, I had to go in probably seven times each time I wanted to use it just to get a nice thick glossy layer on my lips. Otherwise it was just like putting a lip balm on, and I wanted a glossy lip. That was the point of having a lip gloss. And then the eyeshadow palette. What I would suggest with this is maybe going through all of the matte and satin shades and swatch them so that you know what the difference is, like maybe writing it down or something. I don't really know how you would do it, just really however you prefer, but maybe writing down which ones are matte and which ones are satin, which ones are shimmers. You can kind of see which ones are the really intense glitters. It's just hard to tell between the matte and the satins. That's something that I personally struggled with, and I wish I wouldn't have. I prefer using matte in my crease, and whenever I use a shimmer in my crease, it kind of takes me a step backward in my own mind for my own look. I like the look I created, and I'm happy with how it ended, and I'm happy with the staying power that the eyeshadow had. It looks great still. It looks like it did whenever I left the house. Just the actual usage of the palette at the time I was using it was kind of hard to differentiate between matte and shimmers. So that's really my only suggestion for that. Otherwise, I really like the palette. I didn't have any specific problems with it. I didn't have any blending issues, no patchiness, no problem with buildup, no problem with the shimmer being shimmery. So really overall, I think the entire collection was pretty good, especially for the fact it was 20 bucks for 54 products. I'd say that's pretty good. And that concludes this review of the Color Workshop Doll Up Ready Makeup Collection. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. It does let me know that you like this type of content, but it also helps other people find my videos because you liked it. You have the power. Also, if you want to see any of my looks, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. My username is the same for everything. It's just ChristopherJMUA. And if you gain nothing out of this video, if you gain nothing out of any of my videos, please at least gain this. And that is to always remember and never forget that you are absolutely beautiful. And I love you guys. Bye.